Fury Unleashed has so much going for it, and I'm thrilled it's coming out of early access. This game is doing so many things right. The style, the combat, the progression, the bosses, let's just say it's fantastic. If you're not convinced by me spouting compliments, then let me jump into the rest of the video to explain. Fury Unleashed is an action roguelike platformer, which, now that I've said it out loud, doesn't feel like it explains anything at all. You play Fury, a comic book character, fighting their way through different panels of their comic. Now, the comic book stuff is so well done that it's impossible not to like it. The random rooms of the level are comic panels, which makes a lot of sense. It's also a good reason for the game to lean so hard on the action. Although there's something else going on here as well. Kinda like another game I reviewed, Inked, Fury Unleashed is trying to make a comment on the author's psyche and how critics factor into that. I find that a little strange as I review the game. Am I the bad guy? Anyway, you move through the comic book panels trying to get to the last page where you fight a final boss. Note that there are plenty of other bosses to fight along the way. The game doesn't make it easy to win. It's so stingy with giving out health that losing any is a serious blow to your chances. After completing the first jungle comic, you move on to the next. If you're able to finish off all 3 jungle bosses, then you can start in the second comic book. You should keep in mind that the end boss is randomized, so it could take a few runs to unlock it. The second comic book has a vastly different theme, which I'm not sure your character fits into. Going into the more industrial area with jungle wear on doesn't really make a lot of sense. I wish the character changed their shirt. That said, this is a very small annoyance. Now, the combat starts off basic with one ranged weapon, an SMG, and a machete for melee attacks. You feel so weak starting off, but that's the point. It picks up after you get a few upgrades or pick up a new weapon at the shop during the run. The weapons get really good, and I have a few favorites, but it depends on your playstyle. For example, the sniper rifle is good if you like working with tight angles and need something to go through shields. The best, though, is the flamethrower. While not the strongest, it kinda stuns the enemies, and the burn damage is wonderful. The flow of the game is strong and has you moving through comic book panels trying to stay alive. There are so many projectiles in some of these rooms, I don't know how you're supposed to get through unscathed. You might consider full clearing, but that's not the best tactic for getting to the final boss. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you have a decent weapon and haven't taken too many hits, then trying to get to the boss as fast as possible to give it a real go is a good idea. Fury Unleashed moves fast. You want to keep your combo going for extra ink and health. Remember how I mentioned how stingy the game was giving out health? Well, keeping that combo going is the only way health will drop from enemies. I didn't notice any correlation between getting a high combo and the health drop rate, but there are upgrades to help with that. And this is pretty much the best part of the game and why it works so well. Forcing the player to kill enemies quick and then rush to the next room pushes the player into a flow state that so many games are trying to get to. You're almost not even thinking about what your next actions are and going on instinct. But moving too fast will cause you to make mistakes and run into those projectiles. I kinda wish the rooms became safe after you cleared them, but Fury Unleashed doesn't let up. You still will have to be extremely careful going back through, which makes the thought of full clearing even scarier. You do get a few fast travel tokens that you can use to bounce around the map, which is nice. Although the exit is always in the lower right corner of the page. so they're only useful for keeping your combo going or full clearing without wasting too much time. Sprinkled throughout these levels are shops, chests, special shops, which I had to specifically point out, and tests of skill. Chests are straightforward and give you an item to help you out. The game is great about giving you enough of these to make it seem like you're getting upgrades and making progress. The regular shop uses the gold ink you collect on armor and weapons, typical stuff. The special shops are a little more interesting, and they're where you can buy health, or if you're hardcore, spend your health. I don't recommend it, no matter how much health you think you have. Still, the risk-reward aspect of it is something I appreciate. The tests of skill are quite challenging and don't leave any room for mistakes. For example, one will have you kill the next 10 enemies with melee. Now, while that sounds simple, it's not. If you encounter a tough enemy, that might really screw up your run. Another example is getting your combo to 10 without breaking. It definitely sounds a lot easier than it is. The reward for the tests is more ink, which is helpful to your overall goal of upgrading, which leads perfectly into talking about the upgrades next. You need upgrades. I'm sure there's some crazy person out there that can finish the game without them, but it would be surprising. It follows a simple tree structure that you unlock more of as you level up. The upgrades are not that exciting, but do allow some customization for how you would like to play. For example, increasing reload speed or making enemies drop more health. Getting them makes the next run more interesting since you'll be a little stronger. This approach could seem like a grind, but the game is so good that I'm okay doing a million runs. The game doesn't specify a maximum level. Also note that you're not locked into any of the points you spend. You're free to take back the points and spend them again. Overall, Fury Unleashed is fantastic, and I can't say anything bad about it. The developers nailed the comic book design, they killed it with the combo meter, and the guns are good. If it looks anything like your type of game, then you should definitely pick it up. I'm having an absolute blast. So happy to have an early access success story. Thank you. Fury Unleashed was fantastic, but what should I play next? Thank you very much for watching, and you'll click subscribe.